everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the one dip makeup challenge. So I did this whole face of makeup only using either one dip into eyeshadow, one dip into bronzer, one dip into powder, one pump of foundation. Basically just one thing of everything to apply to my whole face, like for each product and each step. So yeah, I don't think it actually turned out that bad. I didn't struggle as much as I thought I would, and I feel like this look is definitely one that I could wear out. It's very simple and very fall-like. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I definitely was inspired by Kathleen Lights and Nikki Tutorials who did this challenge, and I was like, wow, I love the fact that we're always coming out with new challenges, or not me personally, but the industry. I think it's just so much fun to play around with makeup. There have been so many challenges like full face of highlighter, full face in the dark, or full face of frozen makeup. The challenge I do want to do is maybe like a random number generator challenge where I generate a random number and I label certain products like 1 through 5, and whatever the number generator picks is like the product I have to go with. So let me know if you want to see that, and maybe I can do that. But yeah, there's a couple things obviously I wish I could do more, but it is a great kind of testament to how you can still get a pretty decent face without going in with a lot of product. And normally I don't anyway, but you know, maybe if you're like constantly dunking in, like maybe less can be more. Not always. Not always, you'll see. Not always, but sometimes. So yeah, if you want to see how I got this look and see me attempt to do this challenge, don't forget to please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I post, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Okay, so first things first, we are going to prime the face, obviously. In the spirit of today's video, for all the things that have pumps, I'm going to be doing one pump. So today I'm going to be taking my Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and this is a pump. So hold on, let me put some chapstick on. This doesn't count. My face is freshly washed. I just got my brows done, which is why it looks red right here. But anywho, so we're just gonna take the Milk Makeup Primer and just do one pump. I normally only do one pump with this anyway, so we should be good. That's how much I get. This is a very tacky primer, and a little does go a long way. So we are in the clear with this. Oh, actually there's like running out of product here, but okay. This is just going to help ensure that everything sticks on nice and tight up in here. And then for foundation, I'm also going to be taking a pumped product just because I didn't know how that would work with like sticks or with like wands. So this is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. One of my absolute favorite foundations of all time. This is in the shade Natural Beige. I love this so much. I am going to be taking my Morphe M439 foundation brush, and normally I go in with 2 pumps of foundation. So we'll see. I'm just gonna do one fat pump and that's it. I want to go with another one so bad. I'm just gonna try to put this as far as I can all over my face. Now this is a nice medium to full coverage, but on one pump it's definitely going to be on the more light to medium side. But regardless, I love the consistency of this foundation. I have raved about it from like the very beginning of my channel. Like my first ever favorite products video, this was the foundation I mentioned. I have loved this since 2017 since it first came out, and I still love it. I think they're discontinuing the peach line though, because I've been seeing some of their stuff go on sale at Sephora, and that makes me so sad because I've also said in numerous videos that the peach line is among my favorite cosmetics lines ever. Like that collection is so amazing. I have so many products from it, like literally the primer, foundation, setting powder, lipsticks, like everything. So yeah, this is one pump. I tried to take it as far as I could with this brush, and as I mentioned, it's definitely a light to medium-ish coverage. So we're gonna go ahead and do concealer now. Concealer with wand products, one of the videos that I've seen, you can't dunk back into the container, so whatever you take out is the only thing that you can use. So this goes a really long way. This is the Tarte Shape Tape, my favorite concealer of all time in the shade Light Medium. I am going to use this to highlight my face. And normally I would wipe off that excess, but because I can't dunk back in, we are just going to take this as far as we can go. So I'm just going to highlight here and then drag out whatever I have left under my eyes. I'm also going to prime with this as well. So yeah. And then to spot conceal, I'm going to be taking my Milani Conceal and Perfect concealer in the shade 135 Medium Beige. Again, same thing, different kind of wand. It's like a flat wand, and I'm not going to dunk back in, but rather just go around the areas. And the concealer really needs to take me far because I don't have much coverage from the foundation, obviously. So I'm just going to apply it here on my scar, and you can see like this does actually go a really long way. So that is good for that. And then to blend that all out, I am going to be taking my Luxie Beauty brush, and here we go. Okay, so I'm definitely pretty happy with the coverage with that concealer and the foundation. I normally don't do a lot of like cream base anyway, so even though I would have liked to use one extra pump of foundation, this is pretty much what I would do concealer wise, so I am pretty happy with that. I'm going to be taking my Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder to set under the eyes, and this is going to be hard because normally I like to go back in, so I'm just going to get a nice swoop here. Oh, you can see. And I'm just going to tap like that and then blend in. Normally I would like to set my T-zone as well, and I can't go back into the powder, so I'm just gonna have to make that work. Okay, and then all over the face, I'm going to be taking a pressed powder today because, yeah, that's just the way that the cookie crumbles today. I'm going to be taking the Catrice Prime and Fine Mattifying Powder. And yeah, I'm just going to be taking a big brush and I'm just going to be swirling this in here and just patting all over my face. I actually haven't used this powder in a really long time, and it is pressed, and okay, you still get a nice decent amount on here. So I didn't know actually how dry it would be, but I think we actually are getting a nice finish. My skin is still slightly tacky, like it's definitely not as much powder as I would normally use because I am oily. So I'm just trying to get all the powder off of this brush. The problem is too, is if I don't set this down all the way, the bronzer is gonna have a hard time sticking. So that's the name of the game today, folks. I can't go back in, otherwise I'd be cheating. For bronzer, I'm going to take my BareMinerals Faux Tan Endless Summer Bronzer. And this one isn't super powdery. I don't know why I picked this one, but we're just gonna have to dig in, and then I'm not even gonna tap that off. I'm just going to stamp like this and then blend it out because I can't go back in. But this does give you a really nice tan, and it blends out really nicely, as you can see. I spoke about this in my bronzer collection video. I recently filmed a video where I show you all of my bronzers in my collection, so I will link that above and below in case you want to see all of the ones that I use. And then I'm going to take the excess from this brush and just drag that down. Bronzer is always tricky because you never know if it's too much or too little until you start applying it, but I'm glad I didn't have to go back in. It's great. For blush, I also wanted one that would take me a long ways. So I'm going to be taking my BareMinerals Gen Nude blush in the shade That Peach Though. This is a really beautiful pigmented creamy blush. One of my favorites, seriously, one of the best that Sephora has. And I'm going to take this blush brush and I'm just going to do that. Barely tap it off, and then just go in like this. I like to always just like put the brush on to both cheeks or both parts of the face before I start blending it out, just so I can get some of the product onto the other side before I start blending it out, because if you just like go in and then just do one side, you might not have enough product for the other. So I just like to put a little bit down, and you can see this does give a really nice glow. It's obviously not as much as I would normally do, but this just is so beautiful and such a great product. So I'm just going to take this as far as I can go. Honestly, guys, like this isn't looking so bad. And I think a great lesson to take away from this is that you might not actually be needing to use a lot. Like you might be using more on a daily basis than what you actually need. I personally don't like to use a lot of product. I know that sounds weird and kind of interesting because I have so much, but I really do like to conserve like the amount that I use every time. So maybe that's why this isn't super duper difficult. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are still certain things that I would do a little bit more of and I wish I could like go back in, but yeah, just it's okay for now. So I'm actually going to be applying highlighter, and I'm going to be taking the Artist Couture Diamond Glow highlight in the shade Summer Haze. This is a loose highlight, which is why I'm using this, because it is so pigmented. I'm just going to take my brush and just go like this, and that's actually honestly like more than enough. I'm just going to do 1, 2, and you can see just how blingy that is. I'm going to save some for down the nose, Cupid's bow, and then underneath the brow bone too. This is great because a little goes such a long way. Like, it is such a blinding formula. So definitely not mad with this one. I would love to go back in and do a little bit more, but you know, I can't. So, okay, time for the brows. Now, I don't know how I'm going to be doing this part of the video. Maybe it's like, I can't like go back and fill stuff in. So I'm just going to do a little bit like this. Like, I can't like go back in and redo it again after I buff it out, maybe? I don't know. I'm using my LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil in the shade Espresso. Okay, I guess. I don't know. And then I'm just gonna buff it out. I don't know if this part applies, honestly, but I'm just gonna go with it. And then for my brow gel, right on top of that, I am just going to go in with the Mellow Cosmetics Tinted Brow Gel. And this is pretty self-explanatory, just can't go back in like that. Just going to set and add a little bit more color and texture to my brows. Okay, it's not bad actually. Granted, because it was probably easier today since I got my brows done literally like 15 minutes ago. So as you guys saw, I did not apply eyeshadow primer and I feel like I should have, but for today's video, I obviously had to go in with a pigmented shadow, pigmented shadows. So I thought, why not bring out an oldie but goodie? This is a tried and true. Like, when I think of the most pigmented eyeshadows in my collection, automatically I think of Anastasia, the Butter London shadows, surprisingly, the Violet Voss shadows that I use, the little e.l.f. bite-sized ones. I have a lot of really, really amazing ones. Juvia's Place, Ace Beauty, so pigmented. The small Huda Beauty palette, but I just thought I would pull this guy out. So, you know the drill for these. I can only dunk my brush into once to apply to both eyes. And it's gonna be interesting because I normally don't go in like super heavily because these are very pigmented and creamy shadows. They do have a bit of fallout. But, okay, we're just gonna see how this goes, I guess. So to start off, I'm gonna be taking the shade Burnt Orange right here. This is one of my favorite crease shades. So I'm just going to dip my brush in like this. You can see I have this. Tap it off ever so slightly, and then just kind of pat like this, and then go in. Honestly, I feel like I shouldn't even tap off the brush because I should be trying to maximize as much. So I'm just gonna be doing a simple look today. This is a very beautiful palette, perfect for everyday looks or a really intense smoky eye. I don't really know what direction I'm going in. Probably simple. No falsies or anything today. These shadows blend out really, really beautifully too. So even if I do apply like a harsh stamp at first, like, what was that? I feel like I was so aggressive, I'm sorry. I feel like even if I do apply like a harsh stamp at first, it'll be really easy to diffuse. So next up, I am going to take the shade Rustic right here. It's a little bit of more of a cooler toned, taupey, deeper brown. I'm going to be applying that a little bit tighter into the crease. I'm going to be taking my Morphe M433, just like that. Oh, I can't go back in. And I'm just going to stamp, and then blend it out. Okay, and then all over the lid, I'm gonna take Rose Pink right here on my finger. It's like a satin. And fuck, I can't go back in after, so that's okay. These are pigmented. I'm just going to tap here. Ooh, that's so nice. Tap here. Yeah, you can see these go a really long way. And then I'm just going to swipe. Such a pretty shade, my gosh. On a normal basis, I would go with my other finger to do my right eye. I literally don't apply lid shades, like all over lid shades, like shimmers or metallics or foils or glitters with like anything else but my finger, unless I'm layering, because you just get the most for your product. Okay, and then to diffuse the crease a little bit more, I'm going to take the shade Orange Soda right here. Okay. Alrighty, so this is turning out pretty nice. It's not super duper intense, but for the outer corners, I'm going to take the shade Sienna right here just to deepen it up a little bit and add a little bit more depth with this Moda Pro detail brush. One dunk, and then tap, tap. You can see literally the lightest pressure, and you get a lot. Just going to flick that up. I do feel like I have a little bit more on this side though. Boo! Oh well. I'm curious to know, when you do your makeup, what side of your face do you do first? Like when you're doing your brows, your shadow, whatever. I always start with my left side, and I don't know if that's because I'm a lefty. So if you're a lefty, let me know if you do that, or if you do your right side, if you're right-handed, like you start with your dominant side as well. Like, I'd be curious to know, because I never really thought about that until now, but that correlation could definitely be a real thing. Okay, and then one more time to blend out all the edges, just going in with a blank brush so there's nothing on here, and just going over all of the edges. Okay, so I definitely do feel like I have more product on this side than this side for the reason I just mentioned. But you know what, that's okay, we're gonna keep on trucking. It's fine. I am just going to do a little bit of like a dark liner moment with shadow. I'm gonna take the Cypress Umber shade, it's just this dark cool tone brown. And on this Wet n Wild brush, I'm just going to dunk into here. And this is super pigmented, but I'm just going to carefully line like my upper lash line, like closest to my upper lash line. And then I'm gonna take Noir. All you need is literally one tap for my lower lash line. This goes so far. I barely tap that, as you can see. And I'm just going to even put that more on my upper as well. Okay, wow, that's actually not bad. I'm gonna ignore the slight differences in pigmentation. Just keep on trucking. It's time for mascara. So I am going to, of course, go in with two different ones, and I'm going to curl my lashes first. Okay, I'm going to go in with my lash primer, and this is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Lash Primer. I can't, like, put my wand back in, so this is all I can work with, which should be fine. Just going to add this. I really want my mascara to, like, take full effect and, like, be the star of the show. Okay, and then for an actual mascara, I wanted to pick something that has a really wet formula, so obviously because I can't go back in. So I'm going to be taking my Essence I Heart Extreme Curl and Volume Mascara. And as you can see, this is a wet formula. Like, it comes out with a crap ton of product, so much so that I have to just kind of like wiggle it back in. But this is a really fat brush, and it has like that tip at the end that's like a round spiked ball, so you can really like get your lashes that you really want to get. So we're just going to, same trick, kind of coat both lashes and then go in. You would think this mascara would be a nightmare for people with hooded eyes because it's so big, like the wand is huge, and you're like, how do I not get product on my lid? I feel like I always inevitably get a little bit of mascara on my upper lid, and you can see like we're actually taking this a pretty decently long way. Doing my lower lash mascara is always like such a challenge. So that is the eyes, very simple, but I feel like we kind of got somewhere. Now all that's left to do is the lips. I am going to take a liquid lipstick just because I feel like this is going to be the most like perfect way to do this challenge, because you get a lot of product on the wand as opposed to like a lipstick. I mean, I don't really know how that would apply, like you can only do one swipe, I guess. But I'm going to take the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick in the shade Soft Spoken. It's a really pretty mauve, and so whatever I take out now is all I can use. And this is a pretty liquidy, moussey formula. My favorite, if not one of my favorite liquid lipsticks from the drugstore. And I can't line my lips because I don't know how using a pencil would work, even though I did my brows, but I had to do my brows anyway. So I'm just going to take this as far as I can go. And this should be okay because it is very liquidy. I should be able to do my whole mouth with this. Yeah, that was easy. This is a beautiful formula, and I was able to do my lips, and I feel like the lip line actually isn't bad. I mean, this one is really good for like precisely getting that in, so good job, NYX. Yeah, I feel like it's very monochrome, fall, mauve-y, pink, so I love that. For setting spray, I don't know what you could possibly do, so I am going to take, I don't know if this is going to be dumb. I'm going to take my CoverFX High Performance Setting Spray, and I'm thinking maybe just like one pump. Oh gosh, we'll see. I don't know. This is going to be hard, so.
Okay, that was nothing.
Like literally nothing. And that mist is so fine, but I have like one drop right here. All right, you guys, and that is it for today's video. As I mentioned throughout the video, I normally don't really use that much product, so what I have right here wasn't a huge challenge. This was definitely very feasible for me to do. The main thing I struggled with, besides obviously only being able to do one pump of foundation, was getting symmetry on both sides of my face because I was only able to do one dunk total for both sides. So for example, my eyeshadow, I still think this eye's a little bit more pigmented, but you know what's good, it's fine. I could definitely wear this makeup out and not be super self-conscious. I think it looks like decently fine. Like no one would look at me and be like, oh, you for sure like did something not normal. Like you were doing a challenge where you can't do more than one pump or whatever, one dip of makeup. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you try this challenge out. I definitely think it's a lot easier than what I had anticipated. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below on this look, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, please. And hopefully I will see you in my next one. Mwah! Bye.